On this pandemic edition of Walk the Plank, we go behind the scenes of Dead and Buried Treasures as always. And through the magic of science, we still have Eric Sprouse here with us. So don't worry, it'll all be fine. It'll be fine.
Yeah, this is kind of an experiment for all parties involved, right? Because it's a new world for right now. You know, I don't want to say it's a new world, and then I hate that. I miss the old world. So, But we're going to have to. We're evolving a little bit here, and we're trying some magic and technical wizardry on your end, and we're trying to do something a little different.
Yes. So stick around because tonight's episode ought to be a lot of fun and different, but yet the same. So
it's our first pandemic show. I know you said that, but this is going to be something new because people can tune in just to watch us screw up all night.
Exactly. Exactly.
Wish us luck to me, Hardy.
Yeah, because we're going to need it. Stick around. Welcome to Walk the Plank, the Dead and Buried Treasures pre-show. I'm your host, Rich Kanji, as always, and still, even though everything's turned to hell, still to my right, your left, is Eric Sprouse 2.0, the creator of Dead and Buried Treasures. Welcome back.
Yeah, that's something new tonight, isn't it, Rich? I mean, I don't know, it kind of has gone to hell, but hey, we recover. This is an experiment for us tonight. We're trying to abide by all the social distancing and all the social guidelines. This is our first pandemic episode. We had to take a break for a couple of months to restructure the show a bit. We're still getting used to it. You're still getting used to it. I'm still getting used to it. Next time it'll probably be on Zoom, courtesy of Zoom, that we can talk and see each other a little bit better. But hey, they do this on the news when they have voice of. So I'm in the field reporting.
Yeah. Yes, you are. So, getting right into it, tonight's movie is a 1950s classic remade over and over again, DOA. Can you give us a little rundown of the movie tonight?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. DOA is, a lot of people will say out there it's not really a monster movie, and it's not a monster movie, but we do horror films on the show as well. To me, this is a horror film, even though there's not a whole bunch, it's more like a murder mystery, but there's not a lot of horror in it. But I think the world is too desensitized right now, because here's what it's about. Edmund O'Brien, who Oscar-winning, by the way, Edmund O'Brien, who won an Oscar a couple years after this for The Barefoot Contessa, is a man who's poisoned and has 24 hours to live. Now that, to me, is pretty horror related. I mean, what do you do in that 24 hours? You're sick. You're dying. You want to find out what happened. Who's your killer? You're trying to find an antidote. You're trying to do all this stuff. That's pretty horror related. So there aren't any monsters in this one, but he has to find out who his killer was, what happened, why did this happen to him. I know, if you picture it happening to you, I think we can pretty much all relate. Hey, why did this happen to me?
Right.
So we kind of did this as our pandemic episode because, I'll tell you what, Rich, the original movie tonight we were going to show, not even kidding, before the pandemic hit, was The Last Man on Earth.
No, that would have been really appropriate.
And, well, I know a couple of fellow horror hosts that did show that because they thought, well, it goes with what's going on in the world right now.
Mm-hmm.
But, by the same token, I pulled it and went with this instead only because I think we need more laughs right now in this world. And we need some fun and some adventure and to forget about the pandemic for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So, no offense to anybody else who did The Last Man on Earth. It kind of makes sense. Even a couple episodes of The Vortex did it, and a couple of movies on there. But I just thought, let's have something new that you don't see so much.
Yeah.
Like a murder mystery and something that's a little different. So I wanted to go with DOA because it's still kind of a horror film. And I tell you what, I hadn't seen this movie for about 25, maybe 30 years, and I was engrossed when I watched this. It was a lot better than I remember it. I remember the one in the 80s that had Meg Ryan and Dennis Quaid. It was a remake with that couple. And I was pretty into this, trying to figure out what's going on and piece it all together. So it's something I'm hoping that everybody will have a good time with. And, of course, in the episode itself, Drake becomes quarantined himself, and you'll see why. We have our own whodunit going on at the same time on the ship. So it'll be a lot of fun. Yeah,
that's what's nice about Dead and Buried Treasures, because you have a story within a story. You always have something that kind of goes along with the movie you're showing. So in this one, Captain Drake has to find the possible killer or someone who poisoned him, maybe. But I'm not going to give too much away. But I will say this: you have a returning guests, and
yes, we do.
That is awesome, because yet again, making their second appearance on Dead and Buried Treasures, your galley chef himself, cooking with Papa. Papa and Talia are back, and this time they're going to make Mariner's meatballs.
Yes, they are, and yes, they do, and yes, they did. The funny thing is, I'm a little disappointed because I didn't get a chance to have any.
Yeah, this was the one time you weren't here to partake in the cooking, the afterwards, and the aftermath of what he cooks. But we did, and I can tell you it was good. So I'm sorry you missed that.
Delicious. They look delicious. We're going to have to figure out some way that when we get Papa back on the show, Papa and Tully back on the show, that we're going to have to, somehow Grubhub them to me.
That's not a bad idea.
Have a DoorDash to me. I'm looking at you guys chowing down on those meatballs, especially the finished product. You kept talking about Papa's sauce. I'm like, oh, man.
Yeah.
We're fine. But, hey, these are different days right now, and we're trying to abide by all the social distancing laws and being nice about things. I understand. We're going to have to work on that somehow.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have to do something about that for next time. But this was a fun episode because a little behind the scenes fun fact here. Since everybody's quarantined to where they're at, I had to film the scenes with Papa and Talia, seeing as he's my father-in-law and Talia's my daughter. So it was a little easy because for me, being here at the house, everybody's here. So we did film that here in our kitchen, and shot the video over to you and incorporated that into Dead and Buried Treasures, where you shot all your scenes at your house. So it's funny because you want to know how things are continuously running with everything going on and places shut down and quarantined and everything else. You do what you can, and that's what we did, just to bring another episode to everybody. So kudos to you for putting all that together.
I think we did a pretty good job at it too. I mean, everybody kind of watches the show and assumes it's done at a big TV studio, and with and sometimes the effects can be a little misleading. Like one caller thought we had a pirate ship somewhere. I'm like, no, we don't have a pirate ship. So I think that's a compliment because obviously the effect is working.
Exactly. Yeah, right.
Best special effects to me are the ones you don't have to question.
Right, exactly.
But we're not up there with Sharknado.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I thought that was kind of nice. So what people at home don't understand is the fortunate part is you at your house have kind of a studio set up, and me at my house I have kind of a studio set up, and then without getting too complicated, we shoot respective things, we upload them to YouTube on a private channel so we can download them on the other side, and we can edit all this together and make it look like, a brand new episode. So this looks like just any other episode that we do, where we're still following. We've been social distancing for 2 years now.
Yeah, pretty much. And we got this down. So
worked out real well. I think that's really well how that works out.
Yeah, definitely. So we're almost halfway through the show already, believe it or not. Almost. Wow. So before we go any further, I think we need to do one of the favorites of the show, answering phone calls, because we still have those going on.
You have a lot of the queue. Is there a lot of them in the queue tonight?
There is a lot, actually. There is a good bit here. So I think everybody's excited that to be able to interact and call in still. They're probably shocked that we're even still doing this. So.
Well, what the funny thing is, I saw Pittsburgh Dad doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Fury with the movie review show. I saw a lot of other television shows on BPTV, PCTV. They kind of went down for a little bit, and then they resurrected and started doing it again. I said, we might as well do the same thing. So whenever the phone calls tonight, I'm going to try to keep my answers a little short so we can get to all of them. Because I have a tendency to ramble.
Yeah, No way.
No way. I'm telling you. You may not notice it. Sometimes my persona, I just kind of jump on the show like, hey, let me tell you about something. I'm here talking about my rock collection. And by the end of it, and that's how you make a peanut butter sandwich. How I take away that crap together, I have no idea. In my head, it works.
Yeah. So since we got some people on the line here, we're going to get right into this, and we are heading to Burgettstown first with Paul. Paul from Burgettstown.
How you doing tonight, Paul?
Hi, Captain Drake. Love the show. It's really very entertaining.
Thank you.
And I'm really glad to see that by the sound of it, at least, the pandemic did not cancel your show. But I was wondering if you could elaborate a bit on how you're able to produce new stuff. While, for example, actors in Hollywood working on movies and other TV shows cannot.
Well, yeah, Paul, thank you again for your call. I appreciate the call in. Yeah, we talked about this a little bit at the top of the show. It's nice because I have kind of a TV studio in my home, and Rich, who does the show here, obviously has a studio in his home that he can do stuff with tonight's guests or Gertie, and with green screen changed everything. Really, you don't need great big giant flashy sets. So it's kind of nice because we can interact that way. And unlike Hollywood, they have big crews. And there's 4 or 5 people that need to interact on screen at the same time. Most of our content is a movie that's already been done, and we just kind of cut in and comment and have some fun in between. And we don't have big crews and big giant gaffers and technical consultants and everything. It's just us. So that's the reason that we can do it, where other TV shows and movies have kind of shut down temporarily because of all the union bylaws and acting bylaws and things like that. So that's how we do it right now. We're just kind of on our own.
Yeah, we keep it rolling. That's how we do. So our next caller is from Washington, and that would be Tom. Welcome, Tom.
Hey, Captain Drake. I'm a big fan of the show, and I really miss it here in Fayette County, but I saw on Facebook that you have episodes running, and you have some reruns going. You're producing some new ones, obviously. Hey, what happened to the audience in Fayette County? Is it because the university is closed and the college TV channel is down?
Yeah, you hit it right on the head, Tom. We lost our Fayette County audience because we had most of our programming put on the air at California University on their television channel. And when the universities, and like all colleges and schools had to do, they kind of closed their doors. They have a satellite down there that's playing stuff, but we can't get our shows on the college television channel any longer, so we had to lose our Fayette County audience. But I will say this, I'm kind of trying to fix that, there's another opportunity down there called Fayette County TV. And I'm in talks with them, and these talks have been ongoing for the last few weeks, about getting Dead and Buried Treasures back on Fayette County television on, I think it's called Atlantic Broadband, and it would be on channel 77. So the channel would change, and we would move from, I think it's channel 62 to 77 in Fayette County. And as for Washington County, we're still working on that. We would lose portions of Brownsville and Belle Vernon, but at least we would be on in Fayette County again. So it's coming along slow but sure, but we are returning down there. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
All right, our next caller. We're going to Carnegie, and that is Stephanie. Welcome, Stephanie.
Hi, Stephanie. How are you tonight?
Hi, Eric.
Hi.
I, like some of your viewers, live in Pittsburgh, but from what I see, not all of your viewers live here since you're on several networks now. But I live in Pittsburgh, not too far from the Carnegie Science Center.
Oh, very cool.
I'm a big fan of history and mummies and things like that, and I was just wondering, you advertised back in February that your next show was going to be a special focusing on the mummy exhibit at the Carnegie Science Center, which
Yes.
I adore.
Yes,
Will
absolutely.
you still be bringing us that show? Is the exhibit still in place? Will you still be doing that movie? I guess technically it was supposed to be tonight's movie, but it got switched to DOA.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. I
Really
don't
good
know.
chatting with you. Thanks.
Thank you.
Not a problem. Thank you, Stephanie, for the call. I don't know if the exhibit is still in place. I don't think so. I think what we were supposed to do is we were going to have the Carnegie Science Center and their mummy exhibit back in February, March, April, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
We were going to have them as a sponsor on the show. And, of course, this pandemic hit so fast and so furious and so quickly, we all had to just stop and take a breath and decide how we're going to get things down. I don't think the exhibit is still in place, but we are still doing the show. We had pre-recorded enough at the Carnegie Science Center with footage of the exhibit, and we had shot some of that episode already with cast members here before the pandemic hit, that we had to hold off on that show because we didn't know what the status was of the exhibit itself. But the episode itself with the wonderful exhibit itself that we did see prior to the pandemic will actually air next month. We just had to hold off on it because we didn't know what the status was with the Science Center itself. So it will air.
Yes. So stick around, Stephanie. It's coming.
Yeah. Thank you for the call.
Our next caller is Steve from Butler.
All right, Steve. How you doing tonight?
Hi, guys. Big fan of the show. I love the Pirates theme. It's a lot of fun. I remember you guys showing a Barbara Steele film back in February that ran for some time. Will you be doing any more Barbara Steele films?
I would love to do more Barbara Steele films because a lot of her keys to her success were she was very pretty, and they all had horror theme in mind.
Mm-hmm.
What the problem was when we did our show in February, the original movie we were supposed to do was Black Sunday, and when we did it, everything was clockwork. And then when we put it on YouTube, even though I had half a dozen public domain representatives telling me the movie was public domain, YouTube said it's copyrighted.
Mm-hmm.
So when I checked into it, unfortunately YouTube is worldwide, not just nationwide, and it was copyrighted in Italy because it's of the Italian cinema. And I was like, so we couldn't put it on YouTube. So then we switched the movie out, which was a big creative process, where we had to switch it out with Nightmare Castle.
Yeah.
Another great movie. And when we we put that one on YouTube, it was copyrighted in Italian cinema. I'm like, oh my God, this is just horrible. So this is what also held up the episode, because it was supposed to be our February show, and then it went into March, taking so long. And we found out that the Long Hair of Death, they said, we can allow that. It's copyrighted in Italy, but we'll let that one go. I said, thank you very much. So we hosted the Long Hair of Death. So there were 3 movies we went through just to get to the point we were. But there's a few of her films that are Terror Creatures from the Grave and The Haunted Castle and things like that I would like to see if we can do. So Barbara might return to the show, but it won't be anytime soon, but maybe later in the year.
Yeah. As soon as we test these movies out.
Yeah. And that's the thing, because public domain, we're dealing with it here in the country, says, yeah, they're public domain, but the ones overseas, we don't have any control over. So that's how we wanted it.
So our next caller is coming from Dormont, and that would be Tony. Welcome, Tony.
Hi, Tony. How are you?
Hey, happy anniversary, guys. You guys are doing a good job. Here's 2 movies I think you should add to your repertoire of horror movies. Suspense.
All right.
One is called The Attack of the Animal People. It's pretty good. It's a classic one from Chiller Theater. And the other one is called The Resurrection of Zachary Wheeler with Bradford Dillman. So those 2 movies they're very good movies. I've seen them both, and I know your viewers will be watching them too.
Well,
So keep up the good work, and see you around. Arr, me hearties. Have a good day.
Appreciate the phone call. Rich, because I am sitting here at home, I have the luxury of having a computer in front of me. I can tell you right now, Attack of the Animal People, I think he means Invasion of the Animal People in 1962. There's also another one called Invasion of the Animal People in 1959. I think it's the same film, but it was called Terror in the Midnight Sun.
Oh, okay.
Now, first, that one is public domain on the Retro Film Vault website, but not the other. I'd have to double check on these films and see what their status is. What was the other film he said? There was Attack of the Animal. Oh, The Resurrection of Zachary Wheeler.
Yeah.
That one came out in 1972. I see that one is on the Retro Film Vault, is available as well. So we'll check into that for Tony and see if we can't track down their availability.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't hurt to plug them in and see what happens. What's the worst they can do? Take them down. And
yeah, we're here for the fans too. If we get requests, we love that. So thanks, Tony. Appreciate your suggestion.
Yeah, very good. We're going to head to Mount Washington. We're running a little bit of time here, but we still can squeeze in another caller or so. Skip from Mount Washington is calling.
Hey, Captain. I was wondering if you were going to get back to doing those monster movies. With actual monsters like Godzilla or Frankenstein or anything like that.
You got a point.
How do you consider DOA a monster movie? Don't get me wrong. I love your show, and we watch it every week here at the house. It's like a required viewing, But will we be seeing any monsters soon? I hope so. Love you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you, Skip.
Thank you very much. We just talked about this at the top of the show. DOA is not a monster movie. It's a horror film. To me, anyway. I mean, guy gets poisoned, you have 24 hours to live. To me, if that happened to me, it's like having the coronavirus. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What now? Every time I sniffle now or every time I sneeze, I want to check my temperature. So it's a different world that it's become in the last couple of months, right? So DOA is not a monster movie, but I think it's a horror film. To me, I know that's arguable because most people will treat it like a whodunit or a murder mystery.
Right.
But that's just my feeling. But yes, we are getting back to monsters soon enough. Next month, when we return with the next episode, we're having The Ghoul with Boris Karloff, Destroy All Planets. down the pike. You know, we have a couple other ones loaded in the gun already. So we are going to get some monster movies there. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, especially I'm looking forward to some of the big kaiju monster movies, like you were speaking of Godzilla. I mean, not sure if you can get a Godzilla movie, we'll see, but maybe a Gamera movie. So we've talked about that before. So hopefully that is going to work out and be able to show that one. I'm really excited for those two. So thank you, Skip, for the call, and everybody else. Unfortunately, we're running out of time here. We could probably squeeze in one quick call from Debbie in North for Sales. We'll answer this one up pretty quick. And Debbie, welcome.
Hi, guys. Long time viewer of the show, but first time caller. You guys always do such a great job. I watch every week, honey, even the rerun.
Thank you.
My question is for the captain. Captain Drake, glad to see you're back with a new show tonight. With all this insanity and the pandemic and everything else that's going on now, can you elaborate more on how you'll be producing new shows, or if any, and I really hope you are, honey.
Well, thank you.
Thanks, Debbie.
I appreciate the phone call. You know, we're all kind of living in a horror film for real right now.
Right.
And I hate to say that, but it's kind of true. Some people have it better than others, and other people don't know where their next meal's coming from.
Mm-hmm.
So the very least I can do, or and Rich can do, and my crew and I can do, is try to provide some laughs and a few hours to get away from it all.
Yes.
And, which is one of the reasons I didn't want to host Last Man on Earth. We probably will when the virus goes away and things return to normal, or things return to as normal as they're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, so that's the whole point. I want to, you know, and in fact, you know, it's like Redbubble, okay? Like, if you buy anything, any of our merchandise on Dead and Buried Treasures now, all the profits made from that, I'm donating to the American, the ASPCA, or the local animal shelters, because we need to have them, you know,
right.
money created for them as well. So
Mm-hmm.
everybody's doing their best. And I thought, well, you know, let's go back on the air. The least we can do is try to provide some laughs.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's a large word, Rich.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that they're funny what goes on, but at least we give an alternative to people not having to dread watching CNN all the time.
Right.
Dr. Fauci and what the latest is on the disease, and you know, just to smile and enjoy some sunshine, and at night you just kind of have some fun watching some TV. So that's we talked about how we're producing it in your home, in my home. We have 2 different studios now working on this. We put it together once a month, and that's the least we can do.
So there you go. And thank you for all the callers that called in tonight. Sorry we couldn't get to everybody, but we got to get this show started here. So coming up next is Dead and Buried Treasures and DOA. I hope you enjoy it, and thank you for tuning in tonight. And thank you, Eric, for being here.
Thanks for having me, Rich. Thanks for calling in. Tune in for the Pirates Booty afterwards, and we'll take some more of your calls.
Yes. Coming up next, so stick around.
Dead man's chest, yo-ho-ho, and a bottle of rum. Drinking the devil be done for the rest, yo-ho-ho, and a bottle of rum. The mate was faced by the possum's bite, possum's brain with a marlin spike, and a cockey's stroke was marred belike, hand being gripped by fingers that